It's a pleasure to have you here. We are coming to you live from our studios in Kukumlimle, transmitting live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 144, on your digital television and around the world at myjoyonline.com. The details now. A bribery scandal has hit Ghana's Food and Drugs Authority. A senior official there took a bribe of 600,000 cedis from the producers of KWAWU's food supplement. The money was later returned with a complaint that it was far less than what was negotiated and agreed. The revelations are contained in an investigation by Manasseh Azure Awene. Here's what to expect later when the documentary airs this evening.
In less than 4 weeks, the swelling.
He was on the standard TB medication, but when he added the KWAWU, his coughing reduced, he became stronger, he could go to farm.
Until the regulator stepped in.
It's the same container. No. They gave it to us, and so with your own containers. It's the same container, you can ask them.
But there was more to the tussle than technicalities.
I didn't know that I was coming to pay money, so I can give you a check. So no, I don't want check. I want cash.
And the exchange rate of the bribe negotiated in dollars.
What does that mean? Because $100,000, if you are giving her that, would translate into 587. Is that not correct?
Is that correct?
Manasseh, it's interesting.
The returned bribe, airing on Joy News.
Do make a date with us later tonight at 8:30 p.m. on the Joy News channel on Multi TV, and that piece was produced by Manasseh Azure Awene. We are told that the FDA has not commented on this matter, and they say they have set up a committee to probe the issue. And so you get more details of that later this evening when we bring you that documentary put together by freelance investigative journalist Manasseh Azure Awene. You're watching News Desk with me, Bernice Abubeidulan. So let's move on. The TECHIMAN Circuit Court, presided over by His Lordship Justice Alexander Graham, has sentenced a 31-year-old farmer to 21 years imprisonment for defiling a 4-year-old girl. The convict, KWAWU Bula, pleaded guilty to the act, which occurred on Friday, November 6 in a bush at Tremankuma near Kintampo. Correspondent Nasa Bit was in court and reports.
31-year-old KWAWU Bula, a farmer and a resident of Adom Nkwanta near Kintampo, have been sentenced to 21 years imprisonment by the TECHIMAN Circuit Court. The court, presided over by His Lordship Justice Alexander Graham, found the accused guilty of defiling 4-year-old Annabelle Akalweni on Friday, November 6. Inspector C.Y. Seteglo is the prosecution officer at the TECHIMAN Circuit Court.
This is a case of a defilement of a child under 16 years. And in this very case, the child is 4 years. And the accused person pleaded guilty simpliciter, meaning he accepted he did committed the offense. And so he was convicted and sentenced. He was actually given 21 years.
Inspector Seteglo tells me that though cases of defilement are on the rise in the Bono Eastern area, sentences given accused persons are capable of deterring others from committing similar crimes.
To be honest with you, some are not even reported. Otherwise, we would have gotten more than we are getting. Yes, it's at the high side to me. I'm very sure whoever is listening or watching now will attest to the fact that 21 years is not a small thing. And that should be very scary. For this one, I am very sure that it will deter other people.
Grandmother of the victim, Madame Atanga Azubeni, narrates to Joy News how the incident occurred. The incident happened on Friday. I went out to buy something, and upon my return, I met a friend who told me a man has taken her into the bush. Then I raised alarm, and people came to my rescue. Then we met them both in the bush.
From
now onwards, I won't even let strangers get closer to her. I have BP, and what happened is worsening my situation.
From
the TECHIMAN Circuit Court in the Bono East region, my name is Anas Sabit for Joy News.
Now, cameras have become essential features prospective buyers look out for when getting a phone. Though the camera is crucial at many events like weddings, graduations, and naming ceremonies, it has now become a norm for people to take shots of really disturbing situations and people in distress instead of helping them out. What has been the driving force behind this urge to film persons in distress and put it especially on social media? On Tech Thursday today, Love FM's Kwesi Deborah speaks to Dr. Bullard Foucault of the Sociology and Social Work Department at the KWAWU University of Science and Technology to find out more.
To pounce on their fleshes. Their bodies have been shackled by a tricycle which served as a brake for loose truck. While the petrol-backed flame was trying hard to overcome the little flame left in their muscles, only a driver among the hundreds of motorists plying Aronga Junction had thought of his extinguisher. The rest were seen busily putting their phone cameras on and finding suitable positions to capture the burning of a pregnant woman, her son, and driver. The Good Samaritan was helpless with his nigh empty extinguisher. The fire personnel arrived to find remains which seemed to have attempted please to cool humans. Those who had missed the flames early on were vigorously scavenging the ashes an hour later. The Ashanti Regional Fire Command, ACFO Joshua Ngwa, was furious.
It saddens my heart to talk about that, because from those who were at the spot initially, the car dragged the pragya for about 3 minutes. In the process, there were sparks, there were fuel. So there's a total filling station which always have a fire extinguisher there. One person could have gone there to take the extinguisher because they were knocked down by the truck. Definitely the three of them were unconscious. So somebody could have taken the extinguisher from the total filling station, doused the fire at its incipient stage, then rescue the people. But anybody who came there had to bring up his phone to record.
ACFO Ngwa had on a number of occasions seized phones of people who had witnessed a gory accident. But a driver who was part of those who pulled their phones to record that tricycle incident says he wanted to have evidence of the incident.
Oh, evidence. Fire service front by project depending in by time and video.
Double colleague driver Dominic Joe wouldn't agree less. A sociologist at the KWAWU University of Science and Technology, Dr. Bullard Foucault, once witnessed a student collapse and other students filming instead of helping out.
Nobody wants to touch the student. Everyone removes their phone and start taking images and pictures and recording.
Dr. Foucault believes the advent of technology has caused us to live online. Dr. Foucault therefore points out a sense of satisfaction through attention from virtual friends.
The world of the internet is such that even though you may have a lot of friends, you are not connected to them in ways that you would have if they were there physically. And so the only benefit you get from them is when they like your post or when they share your posts. So that replaces that social bond that we had physically. And if that is the case, then what happens is that people always strive for things that will get them more likes and more shares, because that is the only way that they get some kind of interaction with the people they associate with. And so when something happens, the first instinct is to take it and put it on social media, to be the first to report, even though they don't work in the media space. They don't leave that responsibility to the media people, because their self-identity is developed from their image online. They need those likes and shares. They need to be able to say that I was the first person to bring this news or report this or share this image.
Though the traditional media outlets are expected to have their presence felt on YouTube, the new channels also had mounted the same video. Viewership ranged from 23 to as much as 3,000. CEO of YouTube channel Jobless TVGH, Ofori Amponsa Mensa, says would not mind adding this video to his over 130 videos to make some money.
When we go on social media, we try to search video which people are watching most, then we upload them to our channel to gain something from it. Yeah.
Dr. Foucault believes renewal of family bonds and education on how to help have become crucial.
And we can begin to educate people on one, how to help. When someone is in need, we should begin to also shame those people who share images of people in distress. We shouldn't like their tweets or like their images on Instagram and Facebook. No, we should begin to rebuke them online.
So we need to respect others and try and help. That issue of that habit that we've cultivated of phone recording should go.
Reporting for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
This is your election headquarters, and the NDC's presidential candidate John Dramani Mahama is promising to transform the Swami magazine into an ultra-modern industrialized area for metal engineering and vehicle repairs if elected as president. Speaking during an interaction with workers there, he promised to construct a polyclinic to cater for their needs and construct proper drainage systems. There's more in this report.
The Swami magazine was brought to a standstill as the NDC presidential candidate John Mahama arrived. Hundreds of people, some of them draped in the NDC colors, stood on buildings, cars to listen to him. He says he will transform the metal engineering and vehicle repairs hub. For places like the Swami magazine, all the roads and drainage system will be improved to make it appealing for people to bring their cars here. Especially Swami magazine. If I'm elected, we will construct all the roads here and construct gutters, so this place will not be muddy when it rains.
As I said, Mode and Dadwa, and if you did any I told the people, now obey here, I am sometimes.
You work with metals. People get hurt here. You have a clinic, but we will upgrade it to a polyclinic.
Now, my polyclinic no be strong. If you say you be accident and emergency center,
there will be an accident and emergency center. Normally, you find them in major health facilities, but the polyclinic will have one.
And so sa polyclinic ebewo accident and emergency center.
He has also been reiterating his promise to completely abolish the legislation that bans the importation of salvaged or accident cars into the country. Why have you suspended the legislation? It has to be completely withdrawn from Parliament. I know because of elections, they are saying the law is there but will not be implemented. They are waiting to see the outcome of the elections. If we are elected, we'll completely abolish that legislation.
On day 2 of the NDC presidential candidates tour of the Ashanti region, he started from the Moshi Zongo Park in the Menshal North constituency, where he met some Muslim leaders, residents, and Zongo chiefs. Former President Mahama has been touching on a wide range of issues there at the Moshi Zongo Park. He stated that on a free senior high school policy, if the NDC is elected into power, the party will change and modify the free senior high school policy. Here at the Bensha Palace, the NDC presidential candidate has been meeting the Asante Hene. He has been listing some of the projects undertaken by the NDC here in the Ashanti region.
West Africa here in Sajani Biniho. Kumase ha Kejetia market. Nana, if you are, you see Tafo market, you see Asawasi market, you see Atonsu market, a Juanquano. Na Eba hospital, you shall say, AC Sewa hospital, Afari military hospital, Formina hospital, Bekwai hospital, Nina Ewa Santa Memoha, Oba Akwaya, Asawasi town roads, Swami town roads, Tafo town roads, Kenya Sea roads, High School Junction to Janasi roads, Bomso to High School Road.
At the Moshi Zongo Park in the Menshia North constituency, he called for an infrastructure debate with NPP presidential candidate President KWAWU. He says he will limit the scope of the debate to just the Ashanti region. Former President Mahama stated, although the region is considered a stronghold of the NPP, the NDC's infrastructure record remains unparalleled. He also visited Subin and Old Tafo on day 2 of his tour of the region. Amongst other places, the presidential candidate is expected to be Boase and the Asawasi constituency later today.
And in Arrival Live, we take you to the Yangloga Junction in the Ashanti region capital, Kumasi. It's the spot for many fatalities in recent years. The latest, the collision between a truck and tricycle, which left 3 persons dead. On Arrival Live, Love FM's Mona Lisa Frimpong goes back to the intersection to assess how the nature of the road contributes to the accidents there and the way forward.
We are here
at Aloga Junction, where we recorded a few days ago an accident between a trailer and a tricycle. Unfortunately, victims were bent, but according to road users, that's drivers and pedestrians, the lanes, as you can see, of this road is quite small, so it makes it difficult for long vehicles, that's the trailers, articulators, to meander their way to other lanes of the road or the other side of the road, and they skid off.
The demise of the pregnant woman, her son and driver follows an earlier death of a bus conductor at the same spot. 2 months ago, an Ahojo-bound articulated truck loaded with cement lost control and skidded off as it tried to negotiate a curve.
If you see the lanes, they are small. The lane is too small and they are too steep.
But is there some truth to the driver's claims? What's amiss with the nature of the road? Engineer Edmond Kwesi Debra is with the Building and Road Research Institute.
And so we have
the challenge of drivers of such long vehicles negotiating such tight curves because they are not designed to suit those kind of, curvatures. So you realize that if you have observed these long articulated tracks, for instance, if it is approaching the Aloga junction from the tech leg, and it wants to negotiate to the airport leg, it will not be able to use the exclusive right lane for right turners. It will necessarily have to be in the middle throughput. What we call the throughput is a lane that is designed to have taken vehicles through towards what do you call it, the Afro-Quanta. But because it needs a lot of space before it can negotiate that curve, it will have to use that particular throughput lane before it will be able to navigate, freely and safely onto the airport lane.
And that was Mona Lisa's report on Arrive Alive. Arrive Alive is brought to you by the National Road Safety Authority with support from Toyota Ghana Logistics Movers and the JoyNews Drive Safe campaign. You're watching News Desk. Coming up shortly in business, inflation inches closer to single-digit target despite impact of COVID-19. DARYL KWAWU has details shortly.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to Business. My name is DARYL KWAWU. The rate of inflation keeps dropping for more than 11% recorded in July when many restrictions were in place to control the spread of COVID-19 in the country. The current rate is 10.1%. Now, this is about 1.1% away from the projected target of not more than 9% set by the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta. Here's Ebenezer Sabute's report read to you.
Inflation trend in recent months point to a slowdown to the single-digit target set by governments this year. Minister for Finance Ken Ofori-Atta has projected an end-of-year inflation rate of less than 9%. The current rate of 10.1% recorded for the month of October is 1.1% shy of meeting the target before the year ends. This rate was mainly driven by a drop in prices of some non-food components and locally produced food items in the country. Here's Government Statistician Professor Samuel Kobna Enim.
10.1%. This indicates that we are 0.2 percentage points away from the single digits that we aspire to reach as a country. On a month-on-month basis, ladies and gentlemen, you would agree with me that in the past 2 months we've recorded deflation, specifically a deflation figure of 0.4% for the month of for the month of August 2020, and another deflation figure for the month of September at 0.2%. There has been a reversal of this deflation, and for the month of October 2020, one would argue that the gains from the deflation that we recorded in the past 2 successive months have turned out to be an inflation month-on-month rate of 0.2%.
The current rate is a reduction of 0.3% from the 10.4% recorded in September this year. The Greater Accra region continued to record the highest rate of inflation of 15.2%, influenced by non-food activities including transportation and housing.
We observe stark variation from 2 perspectives across the regions and from an item point of view, specifically the source and type of item. We see in excess of 15 percentage points across the regions from both a food perspective and from a non-food perspective. And from the perspective of source, we see an average of 5.7%. That is, if you look at the average for food and non-food, as well as locally produced items and imported items.
Meanwhile, on the average, rural areas showed a higher month-on-month inflation than urban areas. Ebenezer Sabutis reports for Joy Business.
All right, that's it for business. My name is DARYL. In a moment, we'll bring you the nation building update on road. Stay tuned.